All right, hello and welcome to a session of Fit Essentials. My name is Shauna. I'm going to be guiding you through. If you're wearing your B3 bands today, we've just added air, so you can go ahead and do that. Also in our second circuit today, if you have the short Therabands, you might want to use those on your thighs. I actually don't have those with me today to demo with, but just as a heads up, if you have one of those shorter Therabands that go around your thighs, you can utilize that in our second circuit. But for our first circuit, we're going to start down on the floor. So go ahead and meet me on hands and knees. We're going to start with a few cat-cow cycles of breathing. When you're ready, go ahead and make your way on down. Go ahead and bring your toes together, knees divide. We're going to take it into child's position second. Nice wide handprint underneath those shoulders. When you're ready, you're going to exhale, lifting up through that mid-back. Draw that chin in towards your chest, and then a soft inhalation as you softly arch, drawing those shoulders back and down. Take it a few more times here. Exhale, really lift up through that mid-back, chin to the chest. And look to inhale through your nose, drawing your shoulders down your spine. Out through the mouth. Smooth, long breath in. Beautiful. Let's go about one more time here. Breathing out, lifting up. Breathing in, soft arch. Very good. And then when you're ready, walk those hands out in front of you and let's softly rock those hips back, lower the head down. We'll take a moment in child's position here. Breathing into the back. Expand the sides of the body, expand the back of the body, and exhale, lower that chest down. One more breath. Very good. From here, we're going to make our way onto the side. We're going to be starting with our side plank dip into our leg lift. So I'm going to show you a couple reps first, and then we'll get started together. So you're going to set that elbow underneath the shoulder. First is the dip. You come up into that side plank. So you just think you're lowering the hips down, raising the hips up. And when you come back to the hips, two options. You can start by tucking the legs in, knees bent, drawing it into the chest. All right, and then if you feel good with that, if you want a little bit more advanced version, long legs, reach the hand toward the toes. Just make sure you don't feel that low back start to arch. So we're going to start here in 10 seconds. We're going to have a minute to work, and then we'll be lying on our stomachs next. So go ahead and set that elbow. And 3, 2, 1, begin. Lift up first, side plank position, down, tuck those legs in towards the chest. Beautiful. And then lift up out of that shoulder as you come back into that dip. You can either keep those knees bent or if you feel strong in that midline, long leg position. Beautiful. Breathing and flowing here. Nice. You can pause in that side plank position. Point those toes as you raise the legs up. Wonderful. Halfway through. And then as you come into that side plank, really lift up out of that support shoulder. Make sure you don't sink in. So support through that upper body. Wonderful. Continue to breathe. Go one more sequence. Up and pause in that dip. And then all the way into that leg lift. And rest when you finish that. Wonderful. From here, coming onto your stomachs. We're doing our lying flies with the option of those swimmers, or sometimes we call them our snow angels, might be appropriate for this time of the year. So starting with the palms up at the sides, draw those shoulders back and down, draw that chin into the chest, and squeeze your tush. Stretch your body long from the tops of your head, the tips of your toes, and then option to cycle the arms through here. Rotating the hands up to overhead, and then rotating them down, palms up at the sides. And then as you rotate the hands, circle the palms down towards the floor. Good. Drawing those shoulders back and down. Let's go another 15 seconds. Really focus to lengthen. Draw that chin in and look straight down towards the floor. And 3, 2, 1, and switch. Good job. We're going back to that side plank dip, this time on your opposite side. Swing around. That elbow underneath the shoulder, lengthen out those legs. And 3, 2, 1, here we go. Up and pause, and down, and transition. Wonderful. This is our first of 2 sets. Good. In that midline here, keeping the shoulders and hips in alignment. And practice pointing those toes as you lift those legs up. Good. Smile as you flow through here. Over halfway, nice work. We'll have a short stretch after this exercise here before we go into round 2. 10 seconds left. Great work. So one more rep, up and pause. Pull that belly in towards the spine as you lift those legs up. And let's go onto your back for a short low back stretch from here. Good job. Double knee to chest, hugging those legs in and rock the body side to side. Wonderful job. That's set 1. We're going to go back to it one more time. Starting back with that side plank dip on your first arm. All right, once you've loosened up that low back, let's go ahead and get into position. 15 seconds until we start set 2. If you got a water glass nearby and you want to grab a drink, go ahead and grab a sip of water. All right, set that elbow in 2, 1. Here we go. Back to the side plank dip into that leg lift. And once again, if you're feeling any kind of tension in that low back as you draw the legs up, then go to that bent knee position. It's going to take the strain off that low back, and you can build into the straight leg position. Nice. Smooth. You always want to feel like you're drawing that midline in, avoiding any arch of that lower spine. Beautiful. Halfway through. Establishing those positions, really lifting up, showing that strong side plank posture. Final 15 seconds. We'll return to our stomachs next for those lying flies with the option of making those snow angels in that face down position. Final rep. 2, 1, and let's transition to our stomachs. So once again, as we come face down, you're going to bring your arms to the side, palms up towards the sky. Draw that chin into the chest. And then when you're ready, you're going to raise up, squeeze those shoulder blades back and down, draw the chin to the chest. And then you can circle those arms. Rotate the palms down as you reach to overhead. As you bring them back to the sides, rotate those palms up. Focusing to be as long as you can from the tips of the toes to the top of your head. And really pull that chin in, strengthen the front side of your neck. Good. Anytime you need a break, if you're starting to feel like your low back's pinching a little bit, just rest for a moment. You got about 15 seconds left. Woo. Nice work. And 3, 2, 1, and come on up. Feel free to drop back into child's for a moment, just a quick breath there. And then we'll swing around, make our way into our last set of that side plank dip into our leg lift. Starting in 10. Work that elbow in. And 3, 2, 1, here we go. Up, pause, down. Wonderful. Shoulders stacked. I tend to breathe out as I draw those toes up, draw the belly in. And once again, as I come into that side plank, breathing in as I transition between movements. Lovely. Halfway now. Woo. And pause, pulling through. Excellent. Great job. Reaching for those toes. Great job. 15 seconds. Looks great. Let's get one more sequence. Up into the side plank, switching on to the hips, pull those feet in, and let's cross as you turn the head, look over the opposite shoulder. When you're ready, sweep the legs across, same thing other side, turn the head, let those knees lower down. You control how far you want to go into that twist. One more time each direction. Over and back. Wonderful. All right, after you loosen up your 2-knee twist, let's roll onto all fours. We're going to make our way into down dog and inchworm our way up to standing. Nice wide handprint. We'll start with a few down dog pulses. So turn those toes under, lift your hips, and now you're going to gently rock your chest, guiding your heart towards your thighs. You'll rock forward onto your hands and then gently pulse back. Draw your chin to the chest, lengthen that back of the body. Breathe in as you rock forward, breathe out as you gently pulse back. One more time. Forward rock, really lift those hips, open that mid back, and then we'll hang out here for a moment and stretch out those calves, pedaling out the heels. Great job. All right, and then when you're ready, we're going to slowly walk the feet towards the hands towards the feet, and nice and slow coming up to standing. Awesome job. Let's go ahead and grab a drink. And then as mentioned at the start of class, I don't have them with me today, but if you have the short Therabands that you can wear on the bottoms of your thighs, you can go ahead and grab those now. Just have them available. Had a couple people come on a little bit late. But first, we're just going to take a moment to do a couple more stretches from standing, and then we'll be into our next sequence. First, just starting with some hip circles. Loosen up through the hips. Good. When you're ready, go ahead and circle the hips the other direction. From here, really lift up, balancing with the quad stretch. Draw the shoulders back, grabbing that one foot. Soft bend in that support leg. And we want to invite, we don't want that thigh drive forward, so you want to gently drive the thigh back as you pull the heel towards your glute. Keep that chest nice and tall. And then for this last 10 seconds, if you want to add an extra challenge, you can come into that forward hinge, reaching out, driving that thigh up as your chest reaches forward. Really nice, crew. And 2, 1, come up out of that. Great work. Same thing, other side. Plant the foot, lift up to that midline, help support that balance. Grabbing that second foot. Very good. Inviting that thigh back, soft bend the knee if you want to go to that forward reach. As the chest comes forward, you want that back thigh to drive up. Find a spot to focus on. And 3, 2, 1, up and release. Fantastic. All right, last one's going to be our toe touch. We've got some deadlifts coming up in this circuit. Soft bend the knees, chin to the chest, and gently slide the hands down the legs. See where your range of motion is today. Now, if it's tough for you to touch your toes when we get to that deadlift portion, it may be best for you not to take your weight all the way to the floor. You want to only go down as far as your low back doesn't feel tension in it. So if we have really tight hamstrings, sometimes as we're hinging forward, we'll have to compensate in that low back. So if it's really tough to touch those toes, keep that in mind later, and you can shorten that range of motion. When you're ready, go ahead and come up out of that toe touch and shake it out. All right, those of you with those short Therabands, go ahead and grab them now. You're going to put them around the legs just above the knees. We'll get started here in about 20 seconds. We're going to be starting with a lateral walk with some squatting at each end. We have a pretty small space here, so it's going to be about 3 to 5 steps each direction with between 2 to 3 squats before you change and come back the other way. All right, getting ready to go in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. You're going to establish like a little quarter squat. Draw the belly in, and then we're walking from here. A nice smooth lateral step. Excellent. When you get to the end of your space, feet stay about hip width apart. Reach the hips back, standing tall. About 3 squats here. And you go back to that quarter squat, keeping that chest up, drawing the shoulders back, and then you'll walk it the other way. Beautiful. And your squats on that end. Once again, 90 seconds, we're going to be moving through this. So just find your own tempo, work with your space. Good. Woo. On those squats, knees push wide as you sit the hips back. You want to keep your foot fully planted. We're halfway through. Beautiful. And then as your body gets warmer, you can look to pick up that tempo just a little bit. If you want to start to move a little bit faster, 30 seconds left. Breathe through the burn. Great depth, Jane. Squeeze the tush as you stand all the way up from those squats and then pulling yourself back down. Nice tempo, Amy. Great job, Sharon. All right, friends, about 10 seconds left. Moving well, Kathy. Taking it back. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Nice work. Got some deadlifts next. You can keep those bands on, folks that have them. This session is designed that you can wear that band throughout if you'd like. Deadlifts are next. So if you're wearing that band, you can just push out against. If you prefer without, that's totally fine as well. Standing nice and tall, draw the belly in, soft bend those knees, hinging forward, draw that chin in, and then when you're ready, we'll start our deadlifts. Shoulders back and down, squeeze the glutes standing tall. Now this exercise will be 45 seconds. Long spine as you hinge forward. Good. Just want to watch you don't overarch that lower spine. It's pretty common here. And this is our first of 3 sets. So you want to give yourself space to grow. If you have different options for weights, you can always get heavier as we move. Heavier, or you can also move faster as well, if that makes more sense for your body. That's 30 seconds. Good. Breathing in as you lower down, breathing out as you push through the legs and stand tall. And 2, 1, and rest. Good job. Good technique as you set that weight down. And now we're going to return to the floor, this time on our back. So come on down. We're going to be working our hollow body practice with the option of some flutter kicks with the legs. So long body position. Hands can be above the head. When you're ready, you can lift up, drawing that belly in, and we can flutter the legs here. Just like we practice that lower back position, you want to make sure you can flatten that lower spine to the floor. If it starts to arch, bend your knees, and you can do more of like a toe touch up and down with the knees with the legs bent. Good. If you can hold that posture of the legs straight, that's super. And we got these flutters going up and down right now. We can also go horizontal. So up and across. Beautiful. 10 seconds left. Stay tight. 3, 2, 1. Everybody rest. Whew, good job. Take a moment. Hug those legs in. Rock yourself side to side. We're going to roll over for push-ups next. If it makes more sense for you to do an elevated push-up, I'm going to demo from there. We'll start here in 10 seconds. I'm going to use this chair here. On your push-ups, watch that you don't wing those elbows wide. Keep the elbows tighter into the sides. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Chest comes down, pushing up and away. We're focusing on that low back position again. We're watching that the hips don't drive down. Oftentimes those hips will drop down and then that starts to arch that lower spine. So focus continuously, pulling that belly button in. Head and neck nice and neutral, looking straight down between the hands. And think about leading with your heart, lowering your heart and chest towards the floor as you draw those shoulders back. Good job. 10 seconds. If you get to where your push-up starts to die out, hold the top of the plank. And engage that lower body. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Nice job. When you're down there on the floor, you can drop back into child's. Take a moment here. That's the end of our circuit. If you're wearing those B3 bands, you can go ahead and let the air out. Good, and then when you're ready, we'll inchworm our way up, coming back into down dog, making our way up to standing. All right, we're gonna start round 2 here in about 15 seconds. Back to that banded walk with the squats. All right, getting ready for round 2. A little quarter squat, draw the midsection in, and here we go. Stepping it out. 2 to 3 squats at each end. This is stretching into down dog behind the screen, and then taking it back. Find that tempo. Awesome job. Draw those shoulders back. Keep that chest tall. Breathing and moving. Excellent. Woohoo! It's our blood flow portion of it today. Not doing a lot of jumping or anything today, just moving and grooving. We are halfway through that 90 seconds. Good job. Knees push out. Back into those heels. Super. Final 15 seconds now. See if you can finish where you started. So we have equal touches on each side. And then a sumo deadlift or a regular deadlift is our next exercise. If you have anything to go a little bit heavier with, get ready for that. All right, I'm gonna finish this out. But we've reached our 90 seconds. So let's get ready to transition. Bring your weights over. If you're using one weight, I tend to hold it right between the legs. If you have 2 weights, it tends to feel more comfortable on the outsides of the legs. Draw the belly in, stand nice and tall, soft bend the knees, and 2, 1, here we go. Squeezing those shoulders back, and then feel that long spine posture now. Hips push back, chest hinges forward like a door hinge. Nice. And then what we talked about in that warm-up stretch, the toe touch. If you're feeling any tension in the low back as you hinge forward, maybe going to mid-shin versus the floor may be a better option for you until you loosen up some of those hamstrings. As you stand tall, looking forward. As you hinge down, looking down, keeping that head and neck neutral with the rest of your spine. Wonderful, 10 seconds. Squeezing that tush as you stand tall. And 3, 2, 1, and rotate. We're back to our hollow bodies with the flutters. So returning to our backs. As you lie down, pull the shoulders underneath the body. Arms can be at the sides or overhead. 2, 1, here we go. What's our number 1 thing? Low back positioning. If I'm there in your living room with you, I want to be able to slide my hands underneath your low back, or I don't want to actually, to where there's no space there. Drawing that chin in. If your head and neck gets tired, you can rest down the upper body and continue to work the lower body. If the low back gets tired, you can bend those knees in. We're focused on making our body into like a little hollow boat. Woo! You can also alternate the legs like a bicycle. Nice work, Jean. Good. Or the horizontal flutters. Woo, almost there, less than 10 seconds. Push-ups are next. 3, 2, 1, and rotate, rolling it on over. All right, I'm gonna show like a hybrid push-up this time. Down on the toes, up on the knees. The wide handprint. It's nice and strong. When you're ready, you'll lower all the way down, kind of in between where you feel like you're peeling as you come off the ground. Build the strength on the down, controlling your chest to the floor, and then can come down to your knees so that you can have a nice strong push off the floor. Good. Chin in, looking straight down to the hands. Wonderful. 20 seconds left. And watch you don't let those shoulders roll forward. So as my chest guides down, I'm drawing my elbows and my shoulder blades back. You missed the glute bridge on set one, so that's where we're gonna go next. Maybe one more rep of the push-up, and then we're gonna roll onto our backs. 3, 2, 1, and transition. If you have a light dumbbell around and you're comfortable with the glute bridge, you could weight your bridge a little bit by holding a dumbbell on the front of your hips. Otherwise, feet flat with the knees bent. And then when you're ready, soft bridge here, raising the hips up, lowering the hips down. I'm just balancing a 15-pound dumbbell on the front of the hips. So you have a little extra resistance. But I definitely do not recommend adding any load to the hips if you have a sensitive low back. And the more you raise those hips up, pull that chin into the chest, get a nice lengthening for the back of the neck as well. Good. 20 seconds left. Pausing at the top. Fire as much of the back of the body as you can. Woo. Looks good. Keep the knees pushing wide and try to find your big toe as well as you push your heels down. See if you can also activate that big toe, pushing it into the floor as you bridge those hips. Final rep. And rest. Beautiful. That's the end of set 2. Let's just take a pause on the ground, hug those legs in, rock yourself side to side. And we're going to do it one more time, folks. All righty, 30 seconds till we start our third and final set. Go ahead and come back to all fours, inchworm your way up, however you want to get back to standing. Once again, if you have that short Theraband, you can wear it around the knees, just above the knees rather, around the thighs. And you want to have the heaviest weight you feel comfortable with available for your deadlifts. So set that up. We're going to get ready to go here in 3, 2, 1. Final set of lateral walks, 90 seconds. Good. Let's make it 3 squats at each end. Working on that full range today. So trying to sink those hips below the knees. Reach those arms out, keep that chest nice and tall. Wonderful, great work. And smile as you breathe and move, just a soft smile. Helps reinforce that positive experience with movement. Our culture tends to have such a negative and sometimes like a, what would be the word? Like a punishment can be associated with exercise. Sometimes we punish ourselves for eating poorly. But if we reinforce a positive experience, then psychologically we're more likely to want to come back and do it again. If we're mean to ourselves about it, then it's going to be common. We're going to want to shy away from it. Woo! We have less than 30 seconds to go. Strong weight through the heels. And just like we practiced the big toe on that glute bridge, you should have a similar activation on the foot with the squat here. All right. Less than 5 seconds. I'm going to finish out these squats and then get ready for that deadlift. Good. There's our 90. About 10 seconds. As you come back to the weights, check back in with the midsection. Draw the belly in so your hips rock back and you have a nice neutral low back. Soft bend the knees. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Breathe in as you lower down, right between the feet. Breathe out as you stand tall. Beautiful. We talked about speed and weight. Another way that you can add challenge to lighter weights is to go slower on the down. So as you return the weight to the floor, you can be a little bit more deliberate about it. And that will fire up the back of the body a bit more. Helps to make what might be a lighter weight for you a bit more challenging. Good, 10 seconds. Great position, everyone. All right, last rep, controlling it down. And we're turning to our hollow bodies onto your backs. So as you come down, draw the shoulder blades underneath your body. Our whole purpose here is that hollow boat position. 2, 1, here we go. So the beginner position is knees bent, legs up. If you feel like you were struggling with the earlier sets, you can always go to that. Lots of options here with the lower body. You got the bicycle legs, you got the flutter kicks, the legs straight, or those horizontal legs, crossing the feet over one another. Woo! Chin in. And then you determine when you're like, I'm starting to lose that position, rest. And then join us when you're ready. We've got about 20 seconds left. Woo! Nice work, looks great. All right, 1 or 2 more. And pause there, good job. Coming on to all fours for your push-ups. You can also return to that elevated position if that's best for you. Spread those fingers nice and wide, turn the toes under, and here we go. Choose the version of push-ups that you can have the best technique and the largest range of motion. So when we talk range of motion on the push-up, we want that chest to come all the way down to the floor, drawing those shoulders back. Looking right between the hands. And we want those hips to stay level to the shoulders. Fantastic, good. Don't let those elbows start to sneak out. Keep drawing those shoulders back and in. Good. 10 seconds left. Good. Remember, if you need to, just hold the top of that plank to finish out. And 3, 2, 1, and we're going back. We're going to return to our backs for the last set of glute bridge. Bring the dumbbell with you if you'd like. Draw the shoulders underneath, feet flat on the ground. When you're ready, start to bridge the hips. Nice smooth pulses here. Head relaxed back. Breathe in as you lower, breathe out as you elevate those hips nice and high. Pushing through the heels and seeing if you can make contact with that big toe as well. All those details matter, help to kind of sync up your body the way it's designed. Good, 20 seconds to go. Whew. Got a great cool down stretch coming next. Let's get about 2 or 3 more bridges in. And 2, 1, and there's our time. Woohoo! Nice work. Let's go ahead. We'll return to our backs for some stretching there, but for a moment, let's come to seated. Let's grab a drink of water. Kind of reset before we start to stretch. Nice work, everyone. We don't need any bands. All right, wonderful job. Once you grab a drink of water, we're going to start here in seated. We're going to do our little hurdler stretch. So you can actually move the flesh of your glutes up and out of the way so you can sit up nice and tall in your sit bones. From here, if your left leg is extended, just take that left hand, just gently slide it down, reach in for the toes, but don't force anything. Then your opposite arm is going to reach up and over, add a little side stretch with it. And peer up at the hand that's reaching overhead. Breathe. Good, a couple more breaths. And when you're ready, come out of that. In between sides, bring the bottoms of the feet together for a little butterfly stretch, opening up those inner thighs. Continue to sit up tall in the sit bones and just pull those legs in. Draw those shoulders back as well. Some people like to bounce here if that feels good to you. I like to just invite the legs to drop down on their own as I breathe. Just go about 3 more breaths here. You can close those eyes and feel your rib cage expand on the inhale. Press on the exhale. Twice more. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Staying long through your spine. Beautiful. When you're ready, hurdler stretch on the opposite side. One leg stays in, the other leg extends. Really emphasize how tall you can be through the low back as you glide down the hand. This one can get intense fast, so I don't want you to feel like you're in more pain here than you were for any part of the workout. We want to just gently stretch our body. Oftentimes we associate injuries with weightlifting and more intense exercises, but I have personally experienced, I've seen other people, get little strains and small and annoying injuries sometimes from overstretching. Peering up at that hand, a couple more breaths here. And release from there. Fantastic. All right, we're just going to take it into down dog. We're actually going to come back up to standing for the next sequence of stretching. So let's go back to all fours, turn the toes under, raise those hips nice and high. And we'll go about 3 pulses here, opening through that mid back. Draw that chin into the chest as you guide the heart towards your thighs. Rocking forward, rocking back, and now pedal out the heels. Wonderful. And then nice and slow, start to walk the feet towards the hands. And we're going to slowly come up out of that forward fold. So make sure you establish a nice soft bend in the knees, chin looking down at the legs. And then think about trying to come up one segment at a time, just slowly bringing the hands along the legs, slowly coming up to standing. Wonderful. From here, we're going to walk the feet nice and wide. We're going to open through that chest again. Draw the shoulders back, interlace the hands, our behind the back stretch. And now we tend to arch here. So think about tucking the front of the rib cage down and in. Extending those elbows, rooting into your legs. Now you'll send those hips back and draw the arms straight over top of the torso. Allow that head to be nice and heavy. And once again, use your breath. Keep expanding that lung capacity here. Breathing in deep to the back sides of the lungs and sides of the lungs. On that exhale, see if your body's comfortable to go a little bit closer to the ground. One more breath. On that next inhale, rise up. Wonderful. All righty. Next one here, our tricep stretch. And we're going to return back to the floor in a lunge position. So let's mirror each other. Step your right foot forward. And now you're going to come down to your knee. So if you want to put a pillow or anything, any kind of extra cushion underneath your knee, go ahead and grab it now. Otherwise, from here, we're going to I'll show you from the side. You can interlace the hands, stretch up tall to overhead to start, rock your hips back. As you lift the chest, sink into that lunge, keeping your front shin vertical, eyes up. Try to squeeze that tush of that trail leg. And now you're going to rotate your torso, rotating towards that front leg as you squeeze that back tush. Couple of breaths here. Good. Unwind, relax those arms for a moment. And now would be your left arm. You're going to raise it up. Now we'll go into that tricep stretch. Draw the chin in, keep those ribs tucked down as you bend that elbow. You'll still sink into that hip and now bend towards the side here. Eyes up. You can add a gentle rotation if you want, peering up past the elbow, the side you're stretching. Trying to squeeze that tush, the trail leg. Wonderful. Unwind from there. All right, one more on this side, and then we'll switch leg. Go ahead and take your elbow of that front leg on the inside of the knee, and then slide on down by the instep, hovering by your instep. Chin to the chest, and we're going to do our reach backs with the upper body from this position. So start with your right arm, crawl the fingers underneath your left arm, seeing how far you can reach there, and then you're going to unwind and reach that arm up towards the sky or ceiling as you peer up at that hand. Do that twice more. Breathe in as you crawl the hand underneath that opposite arm, and then breathe out as you lift and rotate, following that hand through. Good. One more time. That head under, rotating out. Very nice. And then we're gonna do the same thing on the opposite hand before we switch sides. So now your left hand is gonna crawl underneath the right leg. And then we'll rotate out the other side. So this hits a lot of different areas. You're kind of opening up that outer hip and giving some good rotation for the mid-back and rib cage. Good. One more time to make it 3. Breathing in, crawl that hand underneath that leg. Breathing out as you rotate, follow the hand with your gaze. Wonderful. All right, when you're ready, you're going to come up out of that lunge and switch sides. So pull through, come up to standing, and then we'll do the same thing on the opposite side. So now it should be your left leg forward, gently coming on down to your right knee. I'm going to grab my yoga block too to show what it looks like if you are having trouble at all. All right, so starting with the fingers interlaced, stretch up nice and tall, lift up out of the hips, sink into that back hip, keeping that front shin planted. And what's first is our rotations, turning your torso towards your lead leg as you squeeze the tush of the opposite hip. Lift the chest, long neck, eyes up. When you're ready, unwind from there. Now we'll add the tricep component. So you'll raise your right arm straight up in the air, bend the elbow, draw that chin, and as you reach around, so you'll pull that elbow back first, establish that tricep stretch, and now we'll sink into the hips, squeezing the tush, coming on forward, and now side bend. Bending towards the lead leg, lengthening out that whole side body. And then you can tilt the head up, looking past the elbow of your right arm. Wonderful. When you're ready, unwind from there. And now we'll work that instep. Left elbow on the inside of the left knee. If that was a really tough position, I'm sorry I didn't show it the first time, you could have a block or a pillow here on the inside of the ankle. So as you come on down, you can use that block or pillow to support. So breathe here for a couple of reps. Reps being your breathing. And then we'll do those reach back. So you'll start with your left arm, crawling it underneath the right. And rotating out and away. Pause in that open position. Really get a nice rotation all the way through that torso. 2 more times. Breathing in, crawl the hand under. Breathing out as you circle through. One more time. After you've gone 3 times on that side, then we'll do the same thing on the other side. Now your right arm is going to crawl underneath your left leg. Feel that outer left hip really open as you reach that hand under. Rotating out from here. Great job. Last time. Crawl under, breathing in, and then holding on the exhale, looking up, peering up, and release from there. All right, great job, everyone. Let's take it onto your back. Almost done. All right, as you return to your back, we're going to go into that bridge hold here. So you're going to draw those shoulders underneath the body. We're going to get a nice opening for the heart and chest, as well as the front of the hips. So when you're ready, you're going to raise the hips up. See if you can interlace the hands underneath your body, and then you're going to really try to pull those shoulders underneath you to get a nice broad chest position. Think about lengthening through your low back. Draw your chin in towards your chest, and then guess what? Squeeze your tush. So you can feel a nice lengthening for the back of the neck, opening the front of the chest, as well as the front of the hips. Good. If you need to come down at all, I don't want you to have a pinching sensation in the front of the hip to the low back, so you can always lower the hips slightly. Otherwise, another 10 seconds here. Close the eyes and feel your body breathe. One more breath. Beautiful. When you're ready, release the hands. Slowly lower the spine and hips to the ground. And then return to that double knee to chest, having both legs in, rocking your body side to side. And we'll take it into a little happy baby. Elbows work their way on the insides of the knees. Go ahead and grab those outer ankles. If you can reach the bottoms of the feet, fantastic. Use those elbows to drive the thighs out, and then you can just gently rock your body side to side, looking straight up at your ceiling or sky if you get to be outside today. We've got some below freezing temperatures here in St. George, so that's kind of my limit to come inside. A little too blustery out there today. Great time as well, just to give a nice deep breath in, and feel free to give a little audible breath out. Relax your system. You want to go deeper into that low back stretch. If you're comfortable with plow, you can try to bring the feet over top of your head, as comfortable as you are, not forcing anything. You'll just get a nice deep stretch for that upper neck and low back. Just be cautious here, especially if this isn't one that you do very often. And then when you're all complete, I invite you to just take a moment, extend your legs out, turn your palms up towards the sky, and just let's take a moment here to be flat on our backs. Palms up, chin in. Feel your body against the floor. Nowhere to hurry. Just giving yourself that moment to be. All right, everyone, please take as long as you need. Any other stretches that your body is asking for today, take some time. Later on today, when you find yourself passing through a doorway, it's a great time to stop, pause, open up that chest a little bit more after the push-up work we did today. That's great to do any day because we tend to live everything forward. So use your doorways, use your props that you have all around your house. Otherwise, we'll be here next week. Actually, we'll be in Colorado next week, and we'll see you soon. Take care.